Welcome back to the channel. You ever wonder how to bottle wine at home? Wine that you made from the vineyard that you grew? You're about ready to find out. And if you stick around to the end, I will show you where it came from on the property I own. The wine is 16 months old. It's when the grapes first started back in April of 2021. Here we are in August of 2022, and I'm finally getting ready to put this in the bottle and give it to friends and family. We are in my basement. It's where I do my wine processing at for the most part. It's a little dark. Hopefully you can see okay. We have roughly 13 gallons of wine to process here, about 60 to 70 bottles of wine. These grapes were harvested in September of last year, and since that time I've been pretty much forming them into wine. Let's start with the Noiret. I think I've talked about this in other videos. Take a look at them up here at the top if you haven't seen those videos. But it's a dry red. It's a really good wine. Came from about 50 vines out in the vineyard. Has a nice dry taste. So during the wine process, my wife really doesn't help too much until it's time to bottle and taste. She's money at this point. Plus she's a nurse. The tube that goes in these wine bottles actually looks like an IV, and she feels comfortable in that element. You saw me earlier in the video sanitizing the bottles, which is very important. I get all my supplies from the local wine and beer supply store in Indianapolis. Once the bottles are sanitized, we're ready to fill them. You can see my wife is clearly filling the bottles all the way to the top, and then I'm corking and wiping them clean. It's actually somewhat enjoyable, especially when it comes to the tastings.
Halfway through the Noiret. Got about 12, 15 bottles right now. Probably gonna have another 15 or close to. We'll get close to 30 bottles out of that glass carboy. See Angie's working the bottles, filling up slowly as they go. Obviously you can get better equipment than what we got, but we're a little home winery, and I don't spend the money on it, so we have to do it by siphon. It works, it's just kind of slow going, but we're getting there. This is the biggest of the three, so this is almost 30 bottles. Those little guys, I'm expecting maybe 12, close to 18 bottles each, maybe 20 bottles out of those. We'll find out. So anyways, chugging along, literally. Came out to be 30 bottles on the nose, which is good. That's usually what that 6-gallon carboy yields. So we got 6. Last 2 bottles will probably be a little bit dirty, so we'll keep those for ourselves, meaning the bottom settlement of the tank. Stuff that I filtered out of it and dropped to the bottom on purpose. It doesn't hurt the taste of it, but just left over. I could have moved it into another carboy a month ago or so, but I decided not to, so not a big deal. Last 2 bottles might got a little bit of that, but as you can see, I'm drinking right there. It's just not as clear as you want it to be when you're giving it to people. Anyways, we're getting ready to tap the Chardonel next, and after that will be the Catawba. I'm interested to see the Catawba color in the clear bottles. The Chardonel bottles, we're going with the same burgundy bottles we went with the Noiret. It should yield maybe 18 to 20 bottles, I'm thinking. So I've never done a smaller carboy like this. So Chardonnel's a Chardonnay grape. It's dry, white. The red one we just got done, Noiret, that's a dry red. And then that pink one, the rosé, it's a Catawba, semi-sweet, with a sugar substitute because it's keto friendly. So we don't really drink sweet wines, but if it's keto friendly, we may consider it. Got 12 bottles here. We got 2.5 up there. The half will be ours. Just a little cloudy. It's towards the end of the carboy. Those 2 bottles are fine. So really, we got 14 bottles out of the 3 gallons. So 30 on the 6, and then 14 on the 3. Like I said, towards the bottom, a little cloudy. Last one we got is the Catawba Rosé semi-sweet, you want to call it. So we'll give that a shot here in a second. Finished up the Catawba. So we ended up getting about the same amount for Catawba as we did Chardonel. Make 14 bottles, 15 bottles each. 30 bottles of the Noiret. So I think somewhere around there. So anyways, we got about 60 bottles here. Plus we had about probably equivalent to 3 glasses each. So that's this year's harvest. So next year I should double this.
Let's head upstairs and let's make these bottles look good. So like I said, I get my supplies from the local wine store actually, and these little PVC caps are actually pretty cool. It's actually one of the best parts of this. You put these on, then you put them in hot boiling water, and boom, they shrink and make it nice and tight for a nice look. The whole point of those are basically cosmetic or aesthetics, I guess. It does kind of make the top of the bottle look better, since a lot of times the cork's a little lower than it should be. So it makes it look nice and clean. The labels I get from the local design shop, it's a pretty cool trade actually. I give him a bottle of each of one of the labels that he makes for me. So it saves me money, and he gets the opportunity to be able to test my wines, and I think he's got them all since day one. I think I've got about 6 or 7 bottles of the different types of wine out there. These are my first estate wines though. These are the first ones that I've actually gotten grapes from the property. This is a hobby for me. It's all fun and games, to be honest with you. So what do we do with all this wine? We normally give them away, share them with friends and family. Pretty simple. Let's box these up, and I'll take you where it all started.
So here's the vineyard, 4 years old, 150 vines, 3 different types of grapes. "16 months ago, this wine started here. It's going to end here too. If you want to know more about the vineyard, click right there. If not, have a good one."
That's a wrap. If you like these types of videos, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. Please share with family and friends. And like I always say, I appreciate you spending time with the Home Pro Hero.